Hi, everybody. I'm Mark.
I'm Britton.
And today we're going to talk about one of the greatest movies ever made.
Arguably the best sequel ever made.
Yeah, it is arguably that. It's either that or maybe Poltergeist 2. I don't know.
Well, no.
So anyway, the movie we're talking about is Terminator 2. It's one of my favorites. So let's just jump in and get started. Now, the important thing to remember about this movie is that I saw this one before Terminator 1. I guess that's not the most important thing to remember about this movie. But it is something to kind of remember for me, which is I saw this well before I saw the first Terminator.
Yeah, same here. If I did see the first one, I was much too young to remember because I was probably still an infant. Yeah,
so this movie is... this was kind of a movie that I grew up with. I think that both of us kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
I got this when I was 8 years old. I got this for Christmas when I was 8 years old. I remember it was one of my mom's friends brought it in. Someone she worked with at the diner bought it for me for Christmas.
Oh, that was nice of her.
Yeah, it was a him, actually.
Oh, that was nice of him.
But I love this movie. I watched it so many times when I was a kid, over and over and over. So, yeah, Terminator 2.
Yeah. When I had this growing up, like someone... gave it to us on bootleg, and we watched it there. My sister would watch it all the damn time. I didn't like it growing up. I thought it was a little bit too serious for me because I didn't watch anything that wasn't cartoons.
Okay.
So if it wasn't cartoons and there was a lot of swear words. I think it was the first movie I ever heard an F-bomb in.
And there's a few.
Oh yeah, quite a few.
I do remember. It's interesting to say that that your sister liked it, and that you didn't. I remember when we first saw it. We rented it from Blockbuster actually, and we had the family gathered around. We all watched it, and it was just I remember it was right before I went to bed, go to school the next day, and I remember I was so pumped up from this movie, just how awesome it was. And then, later on I got it for Christmas on tape. So, for the 3 to 7 people who have never seen this movie, why don't you give a little bit of a synopsis there, and we'll go from there.
So, when last we left off, Sarah Connor... the movie takes place about 10 years after the incident of the first movie. Sarah Connor is locked up in an asylum. John Connor, no longer a concept, now a little boy, is put into foster care and is a little bit of a rambunctious little shit.
Yeah.
There's a commotion in a truck yard, and lo and behold, Arnold comes back.
Yep. And Terminator from the first Terminator, he was sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor.
Yeah, and now he's on his way to go, presumably to kill John Connor. We don't know. We just know that he was a bad guy last time.
So he must be a bad guy this time.
Yeah, and then there's another guy who comes in and punches we think he punches a police officer in the stomach, and then
takes his
gun,
maybe.
and his gun, and lo and behold, it's revealed that Arnold was sent by John Connor in the future to save his younger self,
and the bad guy, the T-1000, was sent back to kill John Connor.
Yeah, and is an advanced liquid metal prototype. So
basically, it's a race at first for these two entities to find John and either kill or save him, and then from there, it's they pretty much try to destroy Skynet or Cyberdyne, which is going to create basically the nightmarish future in which the machines rise.
Yeah, Cyberdyne will create this advanced microchip, which the government will use to build Skynet, which kills the world.
Yeah, so basically they're trying to prevent that now, and they find the guy who kind of makes all these discoveries about these all this computer stuff, and they ask him very nicely to stop, and he does for all intents and purposes. But the T-1000, the bad guy, is on their heals the entire time, and it kind of results in a final showdown in a steel mill.
Yeah,
and That is a very, very broad overview of a wildly entertaining movie.
It's a movie that very rarely stops and gives you a chance to take a breath.
Like, I can talk about the neat shit that happens in this movie all day. So let's talk about some of the neat shit. If you haven't seen this movie before, what the heck is wrong with you?
It's, I know it's a movie that, oh my god, it's almost 30 years old now. And, excuse me. And all these years later, like, these special effects still hold up. Like, it was one of the first pioneering movies to really show what CGI can do. I know there was, before that, James Cameron worked with The Abyss, and before that, you had a lot of Disney movies like Tron,
Gus,
and the Last Starfighter, and stuff like that
really
had cartoonish CGI in it. So
so this movie still holds up today, I think, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like it holds up, and really was the granddaddy of what became modern special effects.
So I know you mentioned obviously the special effects, but that's not the only thing that I think is is impressive. Like I always talk about how movies have need ideas, and some movies, especially modern movies, a lot of times there's just not a lot of ideas to go around, or they have one neat idea that they just kind of, they try to stretch out as long as they can. Well, this movie has a lot of so many neat ideas that they just almost never stop. The central neat idea really is the T-1000.
Yeah, they pretty much. They came up with a great idea for that, and pretty much executed almost everything you could do with it.
And here's the thing, like a lot of times when you see a really cool movie with a really cool idea, you can say that, well, I would have done this, I would have done that. Like you think of other things that come in. It's so disheartening to watch a movie with a cool idea that doesn't get used right. But this movie utilizes this T-1000 idea like pretty much to an extremely satisfactory level. Just about everything, almost everything that you can think of that this T-1000 can do, they kind of show it. Like, and you can almost feel like Cameron has a little bit of that sense of wonder too. It's like, what would happen if it got frozen?
He's like the Walt Disney of violence. Had we been like our age, our age when we were our age now when this movie came out, we would watch it being like, I would have never thought to have done that.
Yeah.
Like, that is such an innovative idea. Like, for example, the freezing the T-1000 with liquid nitrogen and then shooting it.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you didn't see this 30-year-old movie. But such an idea I probably would not have come up with. But, such a novel concept and a beautiful execution.
Yeah, like, all right, so we have this liquid metal guy. What can we do with it? All right, we can, make a bunch of knives and clubs and everything like that with it. And yeah, they do all this work that they can do. Like, again, like, all right, you shoot this guy 1,000,000 times and he's not going to go anywhere. He's just going to, tank all these bullets and just keep on coming. And then, like, he'll stab through an elevator and then pry it open. It's like, everything that you can think of that this guy can do, they do it. Like, what happens if you shoot him in the head with a shotgun? His head splits in two. All right, then he just heals himself back up.
Like, it does slow him down a bit. But yeah, he
annoys him.
It's like you think it's like a bee sting for him?
No, I don't even think it's like that. I just think it's like I think it's like if you're walking sometimes and then you get some water in your shoe because it's raining, and it's just it's like it might make you stop for a second, like
it's like wet socks.
Yeah, so it's not a detriment. It doesn't hurt him, but I do think that it's just annoying. It's just like another thing that he's got to deal with.
Yeah, I know he was pretty much created and sent back in time to kill John Connor, but do you think it was like, oh, what a day at work? Like, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Like, if he succeeds and he goes back, you know, he goes into the future and he comes home and everything like that with his robot T-1000 wife.
Yeah.
Like,
it looks just like Robert Pattinson,
oh, yeah.
but in a wig.
I mean, Robert Patrick?
Yeah, I always get those two confused.
I mean, Robert Pattinson's pretty funny, too.
Yeah.
But he, walks in the door, hi, honey, hi. Like, oh, what a day at work, I might tell you. Like, first, I get shot in the head, and that just kind of splits apart, and then I get shot again, and it's just a big old hole right in my eye.
I imagine he starts from the beginning, like, okay, the boss sends me back in time. I can't go on the usual detail that my other buddies get to go on. I have to go back to 1995. Or
man.
I think it was supposed to take place
95,
in 95. Yeah. And then, so they sent me back in time, and then...
they send this big Austrian back in time.
And then it turns out those other assholes who are always shooting at us, they send their guy back in time, and I can't kill the kid. Like, I beat his dumb step-parents and they're assholes.
But this kid, he's just wily, you know? He just keeps on almost get him every time.
And I had access to his police reports. The kid's a little degenerate.
Give it a few years. I think nature will take care of this one for us.
Yeah, I don't think they needed me to go back there. Like, I think he probably would have just OD'd on his own.
So, so this Austrian guy, like, punches me, throws me against a wall.
And punches me right in the goop.
And, like, and then, this motherfucker shoots a grenade launcher, a grenade right into my stomach, blows me up, oh my gosh.
And have you ever seen a human steel mill? It makes no sense. There's wires coming down, there's things, there's pulleys here and there, they have chain.
They have a chain going right into the steel.
They have the chain going into the steel to make more chain. It's bonkers.
The whole thing, like, can you believe that there exists a human place back in the human days where there was just a pit of molten steel? Like, a pit. I'm not even talking about a little, pit. I am talking about a giant chasm full of molten steel. What are they doing?
And they don't even have a rope around it or anything. People could just Mr. Magoo their way into the steel.
There's one little chain that, that fell down. It really wasn't holding on too much. Oh my gosh, I really hope that OSHA goes, and finds us. Like, this steel mill is getting closed down. Yeah, sure.
I have metal eggs for dinner.
Like, I imagine, I think I said this before, but I imagine that T-1000 is a fantastic cook. Yeah, because he can make pots and pans with his hands and everything,
It's a shame that he doesn't eat. He could never appreciate what his innate abilities.
Like, I imagine him on, like, a Top Chef program, or he goes on to Hell's Kitchen, and
or I imagine he's Iron Chef.
He's literally the Iron Chef.
And he just, makes these these masterclass chefs look a fool. You think he would just who's that chef that always yells
Gordon
at
Ramsay.
You think he would just run them through?
Well, I was gonna say, like, Gordon, he goes onto the show and, like, Gordon Ramsay's like, Mr. 1000, step forward. That's a good Gordon Ramsay. I don't know how he sounds like. Your mashed potatoes were bland. They were bland. What are you cooking with this? Look at you. You still have pieces of fucking celery stuck to your hands. Look, and he's like looking at him like, hey, what is that? What is this? And he's like, making, like, he's still got, like, eggs on his, like, whisk, and the T-1000's like, getting yelled at, and then just runs them through.
You think he runs them through, or you think he cries?
Oh, he runs him through. He lets the guy get, he lets Gordon Ramsay get his, get his piece out, and he's like nodding along. He's like, Anybody else have something to say? Nobody, huh?
No, okay.
Well, I guess I was expecting that. I don't know what else I was expecting.
No, I imagine the T-1000 leaves, and Gordon Ramsay just continues berating another chef for their shitty piece.
I imagine the ghost of Gordon Ramsay starts berating, people now, like, because he can't taste things anymore. And now he's even more angry. I don't even know how food works. I don't know what things he could be yelling at about, what's a thing that it could go wrong in a kitchen. You use too much pepper. I don't know. I don't cook.
I guess
I do
fire.
cook, but
a fire could be something that goes wrong.
The T-1000 trying to put out a fire. He doesn't understand. Yeah, because he doesn't know what fire is. I don't know why not.
Well, I don't know why. You would think so.
Nah. Like,
I just imagine a restaurant burning on fire. Like it's a full class 10 fire, and he just walks out after the the car accident.
Yeah, he walks out after the truck explosion. Yeah, where he just kind of brushes himself off.
Yeah,
he's like liquid.
And you just don't put out an oil fire with water.
And that's the PSA.
And he walks away.
Now I'm thinking of the T-1000 having like an 80s kids cartoon, and that's like one of the PSA he delivers at the end of the episode.
He does it with Alf.
That would be great. The cartoon all-stars who want to try to stop the kid from doing crack or or weed. But it's Alf, it's the Ninja Turtles, it's Winnie the Pooh and the T-1000.
And they did the drug one. What could another one be? Like theft?
Yeah.
Or graffiti.
Okay, that's good.
Graffiti.
Like the kids doing the graffito tagging, and oh, you can't do that. That's Alf.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing there, punk?
It's not a good thing to do.
I can't do an Alf impression.
I used to be spot on with Alf. Oh man, that's depressing.
Yeah. Hey, Willie, look at this fucking kid. What's he doing? I don't know how Alf sounds.
That ruined the bit.
Yeah. And then here comes the T-1000 telling him to get out.
Get out.
And then runs him through. We gotta stop inviting that guy.
He's a villain. Why are we putting a villain to tell kids to stop doing stuff?
There's actually... I can always imagine there's a certain level of logic to it, because it's like, alright, what do kids like? They like the fucking titles.
Yeah,
They like Alf, I guess. It was a different time. And they like the Terminator 2. You know how many fucking Terminator 2 toys there are? Scores of Terminator 2 toys there are.
Was there a cartoon?
No. But there is a...
You would think there was... Because I think there was an Aliens cartoon.
Oh, wow, was there?
I believe
there was a RoboCop cartoon.
Yeah, there was.
I mean, I had a bunch of Terminator 2 toys. You didn't?
No.
Oh, that's right, you didn't like the movie. I had a board game of Terminator 2. It was shitty. I'm going to describe it, but it was a shitty game. There was so you had the board, it's laid out like a regular game board.
Yeah.
There are, along the edges is a path, and it's a circular path, pretty much. And in each corner, in the one corner it's where everybody basically starts, or everyone starts in a different corner, but in one corner there's a microchip, in one corner there's a arm, and the other corner there's something stupid that you need. I don't know, like a key card.
Okay.
And what you do is you have to roll the dice, walk around each time, and get your one of each thing.
Yeah.
And then when you get all three of the items, then you go to the middle of the board where the steel mill is, and you have to keep on rolling the dice until the T-1000 falls into the molten steel.
Yeah, that does sound shitty.
Yeah, it was a shitty game.
And I will amend my statement. Okay. I did have one Terminator toy briefly.
Okay.
I think for my birthday I got that kit where you mix the powder together to make that alginate skin, and then you could do the battle damage.
Yep.
And from the little action figure put in there, and I was doing that, trying to put it together, mixing everything up, and there's like a plunger that you put this all this together, and you push the plunger, and it'll fill up the cavity that makes the Terminator.
Yep.
And for some reason, it was not working with me, and I would push and push and push until just this pink splatter just shot out everywhere. And, you know, from there we were like, all right, well, I guess we're returning this toy.
Oh, go ahead.
Because all it did was just make a mess.
I had, I think, the exact same toy. My plunger worked, and I gotta tell you weren't missing anything, because it was basically, like, you mix it in, you put the water or whatever, and then you mix it and put it in a plunger, and you fill it up, and you let it sit, and, like, it was always runny. It would never stick to my Terminator or clump. You know, so it never worked. It never worked for me. And I remember later on, once I ran out of, like, the official stuff, I remember just putting flour and water together and putting it on there. And the funny thing is, it actually worked a little bit better. Like, it clumped a little bit more, but, I mean, it was still too runny, so it never worked for me either. But they came with, like, two endoskeletons. It was a gray one and a black one. And, you know, they were just like the robot things. They were stiff, but, you know, it was still in there. And I would just play with those. Like, I would just have, like, you know, a good robot and a bad robot, or two bad robots, you know. And, like, I'd have my other toys fight them. Like, all right, now the Ghostbuster, Egon, has to fight these Terminators, and also Bobby from Bobby's World has to fight these Terminators.
I was very strict with my action figures. I would not let my action figures cross between universes. Like, oh, really? Yeah, it was verboten. Kid. I know. Like, it was, like, I don't really, you know, I think about it, I don't really play with my action figures other than study them. I would just kind of, all right, let's see how this mechanism works, and, you know, all right, let me pull them apart and put them back together, and. Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that. I didn't do that. I actually play with mine. And the funny thing is, sometimes, like, not only did they cross universes constantly, but sometimes they'd just be a different universe. Like sometimes Egon would just be Bill, and, you know, he and Bobby would be, from Bobby's World, would be, like, Marty McFly. And, you know, now it's Back to the Future.
Who's Bill?
I don't know, some random guy's name. And I just make up my own adventure.
You know, now that I think about it, I played with toys like Egon. It's like, I had part of a Slinky, but straightened it.
I would find toys, like, no matter wherever I could. I would open up board games, like, I took the T-1000 action figure, or, like, a little figurine out of the T2 board game, and I played with it. Like, he joined the rest of the cast. Like, you know, like, oh no, the T-1000! Like, alright, we're gonna have to cross the streams and blow them up. Which I guess would work. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Complete platonic reversal. Not maybe not.
Well, I'm trying to think, like, protonic reversal. If it's implying what it's, you know, what I think it's implying, it would work on that and everything within a major radius.
Like, it would not only destroy the T-1000, but probably the Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah. Like, good thing. You think it was the corpse of the Marshmallow Man that absorbed a lot of the blast?
Yes and no. I like to imagine when they do it to the T-1000 that the dickless guy, what was his name?
Walter Peck.
Walter Peck. I imagine that, like, the T-1000's, like, liquid metal just dumps on him, like the Marshmallow Man's goop jumps on him.
Superheated. From the explosion, and it's just hot liquid metal just pouring onto him. And, like, you know, like, it kind of runs across him like, you know, like a liquid, but by the time, like, you know, it splashes off him, there's just nothing but bone and melted flesh. I don't think it does splash off him. I think the
napalm?
No, I think it's, you know, the liquid metal heats and kills the T-1000 or whatever function it has, and it falls on him and solidifies. It's like adamantium.
That's terrible.
And poor Walter Peck, you know, is burnt and suffocates to death.
See, I'm thinking that the liquid metal comes down and lands on him, like, it's still metal and it's still very heavy, so it just crushes him. It doesn't just, you know, he looks up and then it's just boom.
It's like that glass from Final Destination 2. He is just goop.
Yeah.
And the T-1000 just reforms and just, you know, just scrapes the goop off him and goes about his day.
He wags his finger. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what would happen. So the Ghostbusters are dead, and now so is everybody.
Yeah. Now, who would he be going after in the Ghostbusters universe? Still Sarah Connor? Because it is 1984 in the Ghostbusters universe as well.
I'm gonna say Winston. Winston, it turns out, is the leader of the Resistance in the future.
All right, in that universe, it's Winston. Like, maybe there's a Now here's another thing. Is the T-1000 based off the same? What is it? The same technology that what's his name that made the building?
Gozer?
Not Gozer. The what's his
I know what you mean. Yeah, the Shandor, Evo Shandor.
Evo Shandor. You think it's based off like Evo Shandor technology that he's like he's still the T-1000, but he's powered by souls?
Yeah, I would. That would be a really interesting thing. Like now, it's not just from the future.
Yeah.
I imagine that. Actually, no, the T-1000 is from the future. And all right, hear me out here.
I'm listening.
So he gets sent from the future to destroy Winston. You know, because Winston is the leader of the Resistance, and he overshoots it. You know, he overshoots it by like 70 years, and Evo Shandor uses the liquid metal to make the Zool building until the right time, and then he just kind of breaks free and goes on his quest.
Okay, so Evo Shandor is the T-1000.
I didn't think about that. I thought that he just used the T-1000 to, like...
Well, my thought is
they don't just build them like they used to.
Well, my thoughts were like Evo Shandor was like this guy in the turn of the century that, back during that, Aleister Crowley, where occultism and seances were big, like, invented like this new... I guess power source of this kind of new, this new technology based off ancient religions and ancient magics. So, like, I kind of imagine that, my thing was the T-1000 was sent back in time to get Winston because he is the leader of the Resistance. Because it's the T-1000 is based off of that magical demon technology.
I see. So later on, like the demon technology, like, with the rise of the machines and everything, or the rise of the whatever it is.
It's like this perverse hybrid of magic and technology. And
so they use him to pretty much go back in time and get Winston.
Yeah.
And Evo kind of designed this prototype of it. And I like to think that it's a very circular thing. I like to imagine that when he's praying to whatever, like, weird cult thing he is, that's when the portal opens and out drops the T-1000. Maybe it's just by sheer accident, that he just lands there, and Evo thinks that it's a soul thing. He doesn't realize it's a machine.
I imagine, like, the T-1000, it's not the same teleportation. I imagine, like, this fire pentagram forms on the ground, and then...
I like that.
This metal... cylinder covered in runes, rises up and then takes on a human shape.
Yeah, okay, I get behind this. And, then when it's time, it's time to, you gotta help out, Winston.
Yeah.
Or he's gotta go after Winston. But, I think that, alright, they send someone to help Winston.
Maybe it's Winston's son.
Okay.
Like Winston is Sarah Connor.
Okay.
And, I guess, what would, Winston Zeddemor's son.
Let's see. His name would be Charleston.
Charleston Zeddemore?
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
And go ahead.
That's who they send back to get Winston.
Okay, so I'm also imagining that the Resistance, they send back a lone protector.
Yeah.
To help out, and they also overshoot it, and so he just kind of dies of old age before he gets a chance to make an impact.
And it was actually Gandhi. Like, he was a peaceful guy.
So okay, so he's the opposite of the evil kind of thing.
Yeah, and Gandhi is like, all right, well, I'll show this peaceful path and non-violent protest and all that.
He changes the world, and Winston is actually a big admirer of Gandhi.
Yeah.
So even though he overshoots it, he still kind of, helps complete his objective.
Yeah, and, in the future, the English no longer have control over India. Because I imagine, like, in that future, the English Empire never crumbled.
Not with like, soul robots.
No. or it's either that or the English Empire controls the soul robots. Like I think Aleister Crowley was English. He spreads occultism, and he eventually, I guess, usurps the throne of the Queen, and eventually spreads the English Empire, like annexes the American colonies.
Of course,
because he has an army of the dead.
He has an army of soul robots. Like, you don't need a lot of T-1000s in order to change the world.
No.
But he's got more than one, I think.
Well, I imagine the soul robots are like, advanced. Like, he invents the soul robots, like, further down the line.
Okay.
Like, he just has simple armies of the dead. Like, he unearths Washington to give the English back the colonies.
So he's basically like a necromancer.
Yeah.
And eventually, he's a necromancer, but he's also a scientist. He's like, listen, I can do both. And eventually starts working on the soul robots. Like,
he's a necromancer, but he's not very good with the science, so he gets Edison on board.
And
no, he doesn't get Edison. He gets Tesla.
Yeah, of course. It's all, that's why his ideas were so considered so radical.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, guys. Maybe we don't want soul robots. It's like, Edison is, or not Edison. I mean, Tesla is he's the Miles Dyson of the Ghostbusters universe.
And meanwhile, Edison is just kicking himself and killing elephants.
Like, yeah. No. I was gonna do I don't know how much longer I can hold this with Tesla, but I didn't feel like doing it.
No,
so that's a long way to go to.
What would if we're gonna incorporate a Terminator 2 like film with like Edison and all this occultism, like what would the explosion be based off of? And
coils.
You think so? You think he would just have a big Tesla coil?
Yeah.
And surrounded by gasoline?
Yeah, or surrounded by like, I don't know, something like really old-timey and weird.
Like old-fashioned dynamite.
Yeah.
Just those
just peanuts.
Yeah. Peanuts?
Peanuts. Isn't there peanuts in dynamite? I think that's one of those weird ingredients.
Is there? I had no idea.
Something like, peanut-like, I think.
I had no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know how dynamite's made.
It's based off of peanut technology.
It's written. It has TNT written on it.
Yeah, just those old crates of TNT, and whatever is in his hand is over that old TNT plunger.
Yeah, those old-fashioned ones.
Yeah, from the cartoons.
Like now, imagine it's no longer TNT. Now imagine it's those circular black bombs. And he's got the plunger there, and it's mixed. It's a mixed bag. It's the sticks of TNT, and it's the like, instead of the barrels, they have like the little black bombs and everything.
Well, there are the barrels of black powder,
of course.
Oh,
and
I thought I turned this off.
And he's holding up. Once a Tesla coil activates, it's gonna trigger all of this.
I imagine it's a complicated Rube Goldberg way of the explosion going off. That involves the SWAT team to participate.
So they like. Actually, I imagine that when he drops it, like run, he drops it and like the coils start going, but like something doesn't trigger right away, so one of the SWAT team actually has to like push it over.
Like I imagine he has his dumb finger to his mouth, like out of curiosity, just spins whatever mechanism failed.
Yeah, and it's like it was like oh, there we go.
Gearbench, that's the bomb.
I'm sorry, man, but look how much work the guy put into this.
All right, well, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably go off any minute now. like 10 minutes later it goes off.
Oh, I guess we could have watched it a little while longer. Because it did look fantastic.
Like, I think we got a pretty good distance away. We saw the important part. We saw it kind of blow up there.
Yeah, but he had hamsters on wheels. All those hamsters are dead now.
Oh yeah, they're you know, it's raining hamsters now.
Yeah, there was he had the guy jumping into the water bucket. That guy's dead too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot dead here.
Yeah,
and I don't even know why, because he didn't destroy anything except himself. Like, his factory's right over there; it's still working.
And and Westinghouse is gonna come and destroy that anyway.
It just seemed like a waste. We were, look, they were set to implode it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't get the whole thing.
And that's why Tesla never made it that big.
Yeah, because he
would have killed himself. And if that's gonna be the moral of the story, is Tesla couldn't have been given power.
Yeah, if Tesla was given power, and all Tesla fans in here, you have to realize, he would have just killed himself in a complicated Rube Goldberg machine that probably wouldn't even worked for no reason.
Yeah,
that is a truth. That is a fact right there.
Though, that does beg the question, like, if Tesla had unlimited resources, what would he do? Like, supposedly he gave pieces of plans to each world leader on how to make a doomsday device.
Now that's interesting. I guess the logic behind that would be that all right, if we're going to destroy the world, I want this to be a group decision. I want us to all band together. Like, there's like 9 pieces, and each piece is separated and given to different world leaders.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if we're gonna kill everything and everybody, I want it to be intentional.
Yeah, it's probably some dumb turn of the century thing, like, it's a special lens.
Actually, I want to say that it is a very effective, like, death ray that actually destroys the world, and the only time that it ever, the world leaders come together is during the rise of the machines.
Yeah.
When they're like, all right, guys, let's not leave something for them,
Yeah.
If we're going out, we're taking them with us.
And Tesla busts out of his grave. Like, he somehow... He knew when it was going to happen. And, did one of those, like the blowfish poison where you think you're dead, but... or whatever, that poison that, puts you in suspended animation. And then comes back. Or maybe, maybe he's in 5 rings like Captain Planet.
See, I was thinking... we're not going down that road again.
No,
I was thinking, I was thinking something a little bit different. Like, this is all part of his plan. He knows he's gonna die, but I mean, if there's necromancy in this world, then he's got like a special charm or something placed on him. So after he dies, like after the doomsday machine is activated and destroys all life on this planet, and also all robot life on this planet.
Yeah.
That's when his charm activates and he rises back up. So he literally has the entire planet to himself now.
Or maybe he has like a special, or maybe he knew his life would not last. He would not live long enough for the eventual robot uprising. So he saved his brain on several thousand Bakelite records, and you have to play them in the correct sequence. Like, it's this big, complicated sequence of record playing. And it somehow forms the neurons of a brain. It's like this underground warehouse the size of several football fields, just playing noise. But it eventually, there's this like big horn speaker that his voice talks out of. Like,
I imagine that there's maybe like 10,000 records, or something, and you don't know what order to play them in, but there has to be done in a very specific way. So it's almost like there's almost like a puzzle aspect to it, that you have to put it like in the right order. But when you finally do, and and then the like all the speakers going at once, that is when that kind of reforms his thoughts almost, and brings it back into this world.
It's a cacophony of noise until somehow the waves coalesce into into intelligence.
Yeah, the sound waves kind of like form back into Tesla, and he is a creature made. He is a being made entirely of sound waves.
Yeah. But he is a hair's breadth away from insanity, because he is not. He is not. Nature had never intended for that thing to exist.
Now, here's the thing: if he's a being made entirely out of sound, like, first of all, he can travel like 300 meters a second, or however fast.
He can be pretty fast.
Yeah, so he can travel as far and as fast as sound travel. Like, I imagine, like, most of the time he can have like a corporeal shape.
Yeah.
But like, let's say he's in a room and he needs to get into like another room. Like, he can, as long as there's a way for sound to travel into the room, he can get into the. He can go anywhere sound can travel.
I guess if you're going, I don't know, if you're going towards the, he could be a superpower. Like, you could defeat him with a blanket.
Well, here's the thing. Like, there are trade-offs to this. Like, like he.
Like, I could stuff a pillow in the horn and he's done.
Like, well, I imagine once the records play, he's there,
Yeah.
He exists. Once that puzzle's unlocked, he exists, and he is just pure sound that can do anything that sound can do. But there are trade-offs, like he moves slower in water or something like that, because I think
he would
sound...
move faster than
water. Does sound move faster in water?
Yeah, because I think it's more dense.
Yeah, you're right. He also can, like, so he's quicker in water, but, like, if he's in a open, echoey area, like if he gets into a canyon, there's another version of him that forms. We'll say like a
twin.
An alternate, an evil Tesla that is made of also sound.
I imagine a James Bond villain type device where they slowly kill him by sucking all the air out of the room.
And I was gonna say, like, if you get into like a vacuum, that will destroy him.
Yeah.
That actually, that concept of a being made of sound is actually an interesting one that I think we might want to explore later.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of something I read in a science fiction novel where because it was about exploring the different types of life that could potentially exist, and one was just intelligence forming out of these various convection cells. And that's kind of where I got this from. Like, like somehow Tesla converted his brain into sound waves.
Yeah. See, I don't imagine he's like, once they play the records or whatever, once he returns, I don't imagine that he's just a brain. Like I said, now I imagine he's like a glowing almost person. Like, he just comes back, he's like completely glowing or whatever. He looks like a person, but like, if he wants to, he can just turn to sound and travel through, as sound.
I have a feeling that he is mostly just a brain, and there is a corporeal being created mainly for the convenience of whoever activates him. It's more of a conduit.
Okay.
And the way what I think he looks like, he probably looks like kind of, how what a person would look like when the film is kind of fluttering too quick in a projector, or it's not locked down.
No, that didn't work.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry and shifting all over the place.
Okay,
like, he's not really stable.
Yeah, no, I can get behind it. I actually imagine one scene where like he's trying to break into a bank vault. I don't know why. He needs
more funding because Westinghouse broke all of his stuff.
That's right. Okay, so that's perfect. So in order to get into this bank vault, he just kind of places his hand on the vault and then just kind of travels as sound through the through the vibrations that sound makes against it, and then he's in the room.
I don't think he would even do that. I think he would do because his big thing was resonance frequencies.
Oh.
So he would just find the resonance frequency of the vault until it just breaks.
That'd be awesome. Like I said, there's a lot of ways we could really go with this concept of a creature made entirely of sound that can do anything that sound can do. But then again, like I imagine that they trick him almost like Dr. Manhattan at the end of Watchmen, where they like kind of lure him into this room, but it's a soundproof booth. And that's his prison. Like, he can't get out of this. He's stuck in there.
Like, I don't know what he would do, because he is, like, he would have to go somewhere because he would just get absorbed into the walls.
and that's it. He's dead. That's how they kill him.
Yeah, because the only thing I could think of is that, you know, he creates an initial sound that is that creates kind of this cavity for the other sound to bounce off of. So he's self-contained, and that's how he creates kind of this body. And then if he doesn't have that shell, he just kind of will, bounce everywhere and be absorbed by, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And once he goes in that soundproof booth, he's just,
yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he just, like they lock the door behind him, kind of like they did to Frosty. I got you now. And he's like looking out looking out at them, or he can't.
Think nasty. Oh.
Well, so we're all in agreement now. We're not playing those records again, right? We're not doing this twice.
Off topic. Do you think that guy intended to kill Frosty?
Yes. He wanted that fucking hat back. It's his hat,
So he was willing to take a life.
Yeah. It was a magic hat, because now I bet you he's like, well, shit, I got blow-up dolls at home that I can put this hat on, or something else. I don't know if it only works on snow. I don't know how the magic hat property works.
Yeah, they never really went around that.
Like, maybe that rabbit, that Hocus Pocus, maybe the rabbit was a stuffed rabbit at one point.
Or, what happened, like, if you put it on the couch, would you get, like, a cherry from Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I get behind that. But he only does, like, he's green in that movie, and that's because he's dead. He's a corpse. They put the hat on him, and it, reanimated, so he needs to get that fucking hat back.
Yeah, when he has a bad day, he comes back and puts the hat on the toilet before he uses it.
Oh no.
I guess you had another bad day.
Think nasty.
Just get it over with.
Oh, thank you. What would I put this hat on now?
You'd probably put it on another one of your hats.
Let's see if it makes let's see if it gets some of this hat juice into it, and maybe I can have a bunch of magic hats.
I don't know. What would you put it on? Probably, I don't know. I don't think you would. I think you would be afraid to put it on anything because you don't like inanimate objects moving.
I really don't. I don't like inanimate objects coming to life.
So you would just have it in a corner, and you would stare at it with trepidation.
The corner starts coming to life.
Hello.
Throw it in a fire. The fire comes to life.
Oh God. You inadvertently make an elemental god.
I would put it on, I'd put it, on my soup. And eat my soup. Oh, hey, what are you... Oh, that'd be awful. I would not do that.
Yeah, why would
terrify me.
Why would you do that?
It's like, I just want to, I don't know
I just want to take a life. I want to know how that feels, even if it's a soup life.
I'd put it on a pillow and have a friend.
Hey, Mark.
I'd put it on my action figures.
Oh, I guess you would have to put them in the hat.
The hat only works if it fits snugly on the, if it fits on the thing. Like, it can't work on, like, it's not like molecules, get life and sentience.
Yeah, you would just put the action figures, and the action figures just go where the rabbit goes, wherever that is.
I would put it on books and just have them read themselves to me. Or I could just get book on tape.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have to delve into the black arts for this.
Yeah, it seems easier just to get book on tape than give things life.
I guess I genuinely don't know what I would do with a magic hat that brings things to life.
Yeah, it's really a power that doesn't really serve much purpose.
I guess maybe I would, sell it to the military. I bet you they would have a million uses for this hat.
It just missiles. That's what they do with everything. Like, oh, how do we make better missiles? Oh, we'll put the hat on it.
Talk about how smart these bombs are. I think they would extract the magic from the hat somehow, and they would just they would unmanned drones, but they would kind of sprit some of they make it into a spray, so they get to spray the unmanned drones that now have sentience and thought.
And they stopped doing that after when the missile becomes self-aware of its ultimate purpose, detonates.
I imagine they do it to all the drones and everything, and that's how Skynet is born.
Yeah.
And that's what actually causes Judgment Day. The hat from Frosty the Snowman.
It distilled into a spray. Though I have a feeling the drones would just not do what they are programmed to do. Like, they just chase cars. Like dogs. Yep. And, yeah. That's why the hat spray failed.
They sprayed on the missiles. Happy birthday! You beat me to it. And on that note, Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Phenomenal movie. Fantastic. All these years later, still holds up. The special effects still phenomenal, both digital and practical. If you haven't seen this movie, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Let's see. It has, like Britton said, effects are great. They still hold up after all these years. The stunt work is great. The acting, the characters, the writing, everything in this movie is top notch. So yeah, go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. And if you have, watch it again. It's a great movie. It deserves to be rewatched.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us. Take it easy now.
Toodaloo.
That'll hold a little SOBs.